Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video on Kubernetes, and today we are going to learn about Qctl, which is a command line tool through which we can interact with our Kubernetes cluster. In the previous lecture, as I showed that what we have in our Kubernetes architecture and uh, how we can interact with our Kubernetes. In this video, we will be learning more about the Qctl command, which is a tool through which we can interact with our Kubernetes cluster, and we will be having a quick demo of several commands which we can use in Kubernetes. Kubernetes. So let's get started. Then I will be sharing few details like what is Qctl. In this video we will be looking at what is Qctl and what are the various options which are available, and then we will see various tricks which I have learned how to solve your deployment file problems if there are any. So that thing we will see, and then we will see the resources where we can look for help if we are stuck somewhere in Kubernetes. So let's begin with the practical. So what is Kubectl? So if I do man, so in the last video as we saw that how we can set up our minikube cluster. So if I check my minikube cluster status, so I will do minikube status. So here you can see that I have a control plane which is running, then I have a kubelet which is running, and then API server and the kube config. All these things are configured, and my API server along with the kubelet, that is a process which runs on the you can say worker node, is again running on the same machine. So as I told that minikube itself is a single master and worker node installed on your machine. So you can see that I have control plane, it is running, and kubelet that is also running, and then API server is also running on this machine itself. So, and where is my machine hosted? It is running on this virtual box, because while I started this minikube, I gave the option minikube start, and then driver was my virtual box, so it is running inside this. So now to interact with this cluster, I have my Qctl, and what I will do is I will check the version of it. So the version which I am using is this, that is coming here, sorry, minor 23 version, and the client similarly for the server version I have my version 23. So that is not of much use. Let's move ahead. Now what is Qctl? Let me check if there is any man page. So there is no man page entry, that we will have to check in the official website. So let's go to the official website of kubernetes.io, and here you can see in the documentation. If I open the documentation, then here you can see command line tool. So what is Qctl? Kubernetes provides a command line tool for Kubernetes for communicating with the Kubernetes cluster, that is control plane, using the Kubernetes API. This tool is named as Qctl. So here you have seen the definition, and reading it further, you can read around what are the various configuration and files which Qctl uses, and then we have the syntax which we use for Qctl. We will see this later. So as of now, what we have seen is what is Qctl. What we have seen is what is Qctl, and then we have seen that where can you find the configuration for Qctl, or where we can do the configuration for Qctl. Now let me do Qctl help. So this is another source from you where you can learn several things about Qctl and how you can do that. Here again you can see there is a link provided where you can check the commands. So before going to this, what I will do is I will try some basic commands. So what I will do is I will do use get, and it is saying display one or more resources. Then how I can do that, let me show you this. So I know that pods is one of the resource which is there in our Kubernetes. So what I am doing is I am getting all the pods which are present here. Now if I want to delete any one of the pod here, so what I can do is again I will go to help page, and here I have another command, that is delete, and this deletes resource by file name, std in resources and names, or by resource and label selector. So what I am doing here is I am going to delete a resource by the resource name. So what I will do is I will do kubectl get pods, and then I will kubectl delete pod, and then the resource name, that is this. And here you can see that my pod has got deleted. So this is another command which you can use. Then another command is edit a resource on the server, that we can try. And then finally we have Kubectl get a documentation for a resource. So let me get a documentation. Let me get the pods first, then I should get Qctl get not get Qctl, then it was explain pod. So here you can see that it has given me the definition that it is a pod, and then pod is a collection of container that can run on a host, and this resource is created by clients and scheduled on two hosts. So this is how you can get the documentation. Now there are several resources like pods, deployments, so we will see them later, but as of now if I do Qctl get deployment, then here you can see that Qctl explain deployment, it is giving kind is deployment, version is apps v1, and it is deployment enables declarative updates for pods and replicas. So we will see all these things further in our upcoming lectures. So as of now what I have shown you is how you can get help about Qctl if you are stuck somewhere. Now let me show you some more commands. So these are all like these you can use to describe any pod. Let's suppose Qctl get pods. If you want to describe any pod, then you can use this command, and you will do Qctl describe, and what you want to describe pod, and which pod you want to describe. Let's suppose this one. So it will give you all the details about this pod, like what is the name, what is the namespace in which it is, and then what is the name of the node, and so on, like when it was started, what is the status, and so on. And here I will show you some more important thing, that is image. This is the Nginx, this pod is running an Nginx image that we can see here, and it states it is running. Then what is important in this, initialized ready container pod schedule true, all this information is okay. Then so that is all. The main information which we can note here is what is the image, what is running, what is the status, what is the namespace in which it is created, and finally the name. So these are the few things which are very common or should be noticed while you are running this Qctl describe pod. Other information is relevant is not that much relevant as of now. So So we have seen a few commands from the list of various commands which are available in Kubectl. So now I will go to this page where it is giving find more information at this. So if you go to this page, so what I will do is I will open this link, and you can see here Qctl says Qctl, then give the command after it, then type, name and the flags. So what we have done is we have used Qctl command just now, then we did get, that is a command, and what type specifies the resource type, so we have a pod, and then finally the name of that pod, that is pod1. So we have already seen the syntax how to use Qctl command, and then there are several options which are available which you can try on your own. So this is all about Qctl command. Now let's learn a few let's learn how to create a pod in Kubernetes. That is the most basic component, or we can say smallest component of a Kubernetes cluster. So if I write here pod, so let me see if it can. So it is giving a pod. What is a pod? And here you can see the definition, which is the most basic definition of a pod which you can give while creating a pod. So let's create a pod here. So I have already created one folder here, and what I will do is I will just go to this pod.yaml file, and I will create a new file with a name definition file yml, and I will just copy paste that configuration which was given on this page when I searched for pod. So what it is saying is that API version is v1, kind is pod, then there is a metadata which is related to this pod, and then several specification about this. So as we know that inside pod there runs a container. So so if I say, so these are the parent, or we can say parent configuration, these four specification, metadata, kind and API version, and then these are the sub, or we can say child of name is a child of metadata, here container is a child of spec, name is again a child of container, or we can say container is itself a list inside which name is there, and image is a sibling of name and ports. So right now I will not give any port for this, and what I will do is I will remove this because this is more complex. I will save it. Now what I will do is Qctl, and I want to create a pod using this file. So, and you can see the pod has been created. Now when I will do Qctl get pods, then you can see that this is the pod which has been started 6 seconds ago, and status is it is just getting created. So now you can see that it is now in running state, and this time it was taking to create this pod. So at that time it was doing container is getting created. Now what I want to do is I want to delete this pod. So I can simply, before deleting, let me edit this, edit pod nginx, and here you can edit anything whatever you want. So this is the configuration which is more complex and has been provided by Kubernetes itself when this pod was created. So you can see namespace has been provided as default. This was provided by us. So this is how you can edit any field of this container image. So let me change from this nginx to Apache, and let's see what it does. So it is saying a copy of your change has been stored to this, at least one of the API version kind. So this I don't know what it is doing. Pods. Let me do it again. Qctl get pods. Now you can see it is running again. If I do Qctl describe pod nginx, so what you can see here is it is still running the image nginx, and in the previous configuration which we did, it threw some error, and that error was a copy of change stored this file, and that configuration didn't work, so it has not taken up that up. So you can see here we have placed Apache and this didn't work, so it is still running the older configuration. That is again I think a beauty of Kubernetes, but I'm not sure about that. The configuration which we have done changes in the runtime. If it is not proper, then it will run with the previous configuration. And as you can see, it has kept our configuration in the separate file and displayed a appropriate message that our configuration has been saved to this file. Now what I want to do is, when I know that my pod is nginx, I want to delete this pod. Delete pod nginx, and this pod has got deleted. Now again, if I do Qctl get pods, you can see nginx is gone, and now we have the pods which were there earlier. So this is how we create pods in Kubernetes. You can play around Kubernetes pod using this guide which is available here. So it has a lot more examples which we can try or copy paste from here, and you can see that for pod this API version is always v1 and its kind will remain as pod whenever we are creating a pod. Then metadata can have several things like name, and you can attach labels to it, but that also we will see later, how we can attach labels to pods. Then we will see the specification, and as you know that a pod runs containers, so inside specs the first field will always be a container, and then we will have the image or the name of that container and the image which it is running. And then we can also mention several configuration like ports, that on which port this is running. So we have mentioned that container port 80 will be exposed to this pod. So this is how we can write a simple pod file and start our pod. So that is all for this video. I will look more into deployments, what is deployment and replica set in the next lecture. So thanks all for watching this video, and if you like and have any questions, please do share in comments. Thank you.